Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh, everybody. I'm Preacher Moss, host of the SOS, the Shout Out Show. Hope you're having a tremendous Sunday. I know how it is. You're trying to have a tremendous Sunday, and the down part of it is you got to go back to the plantation on Monday. We all got to go back to the plantation, whether you're working or not. The plantation is a place of reality. Plantation is where we go and work and we grind to figure out our way of living, to pay our bills and all those things. So for everybody that has to go back to the plantation, I salute you. I got to go back my doggone self. That's number one. Number two is, if you are coming to the Shout Out Show for the first time, brothers and sisters, welcome. Welcome to the Shout Out Show. And on the way in, if you don't mind, please click the subscribe button. And after the show, if you felt like we've earned your time, we've earned your cognitive surplus, we're going to ask you to please click that like button. I think we're at 125 subscribers, trying to get to 126 by tomorrow, inshallah. That's number one. Number two is some people reached out about yesterday's show. I'm going to try and repost it, but I'm also going to revisit it. I gave you 5 rules. I actually had 10 rules, and I'll give you the other 5 rules about what were we talking about yesterday? Surviving and striving in 2020, because I think it's really important. And before I get into that, let me get some shout out love for the people. There's our soldiers. This is our craft services director, Sister Ree. Smoked that smothered chicken. That rice was just too much, sister. I'm gonna tell you, I had itis that lasted all the way up to right now. That's when you know the food is good, people. When you burp while you were asleep, that's how you know your food was good. So I hit a couple burp. That was me yesterday. So it's all right. And we got Sister Sultana, our consultant producer. Because Sister Sultana, check the number on the subscriber list. I didn't forget this morning. That's just like the glasses on top of the head. It goes both ways. And Sister Naima Griffin. What is going on, Sister Naima? Yet another Shout Out Show family member, another Shout Out Show soldier. Thank you for coming in. So I'm welcoming everybody in. Today's thing is, I always say this is a potluck. When I say Sunday potluck, it is in a tradition of when you would come to Sunday dinner back in the day. And I have to say something. I'm not sure whatever happened to Sunday dinner. I grew up spoiled, like many of you. I grew up spoiled while the week was crazy and all those things. Come Sunday, you had to go someplace and eat Sunday dinner. And 9 times out of 10 is either at the grandmother's house or it was at your house. But the aspect of a potluck, if you will, the aspect of a potluck was the fact that you were going to do what? You were going to sit down as a family and eat. Not just eat, but have conversation. Not just have conversation, but have healthy dialogue, in some cases debate. And the other aspect of Sunday potluck is that you sometimes invited people to your table. And I don't want to lose that idea. Someone said that to me a couple days ago. The idea is Sunday potluck. It's that you invited people to your table, not just to eat, but to be a part of community. And I think we've lost that a little bit. I think we've lost that. You know, everything with cooking on the run. I mean, I've seen it where people don't eat at the same time, or we left it in the microwave, and we get so busy and so self-indulgent that we think that, hey, man, I don't need this, I don't need that. And I have to revisit some things about my grandmother. The one thing about Sunday potluck is that you watch food be made. Let me say this again. You watched food be made. When I say be made, I mean, if it was biscuits, you watch biscuits be made. If it was fried chicken, you watch fried chicken be made. If it were green beans, 9 times out of 10, you had to snap the green beans. And even as a child, you had to contribute, if you will, to Sunday dinner, Sunday potluck. And when you had guests, everybody knows the guests will bring something. Now, I ain't gonna say about the guests cooking. Usually you would screen that before they came. But my point is, it was important. Let me give a shout out to my main man, Sean. What's up, Big Sean? All the way from DC. Sean is a comedy connoisseur. He's been around a long time, man. Good brother. heck of a photographer. I mean, just a good brother, man. You talk about watching a lot of comedy come through Washington, D.C. That brother is an archive. And thank you, Sean, for coming on the show. We appreciate it. But let me get back to Sunday Potluck, because this Sunday Potluck is about ideas. And in this scenario of Sunday Potluck, I'm going to allow everyone in the chat box, if you will, everyone in the comment section, throw out what's on your mind. If it's something you want to talk about on the election, throw it out. If you want to throw out something that's happening on TV, throw it out. If it's something you don't like about Trump, throw it out. If it's something you don't like about Biden, throw it out. We're going to talk about it. The potluck is a potluck of ideas, because we can't eat together. We can't eat together because we're all in our separate spaces. However, I'm going to definitely infer that we still have a buffet of ideas. So let me give a couple more shouts out here. We got Sister Sharon, South Orange. Well, you know, Sister Tana's out there in Newark, so look out now. Sister Rabina, all the way from here. Sister Rabina, I appreciate you coming on the show, but I know you're staying up late. I know you're showing up. I know you're staying up late. So listen, get yourself a little rest, all right? So, and let me shout out Big Sean again. I appreciate you, brother. See, this is like different type of thing. Remember I told you guys about how this show is sort of like Al Jarreau concert? I mean that. Because I used to get mad at Al Jarreau when he would do a show, because the show should have been an hour and it'd take 2 hours and 45 minutes, because he would stop the show and give everybody a shout out. And I would get upset because all I wanted to do was see Al Jarreau sing. And as I got older, I realized how much people really loved and adored Al Jarreau. So I'm going to be Al Jarreau, and I'm going to show y'all love, whatever you want to talk about. Sister Ika all the way from Indonesia. Yes, sir. Oh, okay, Satana. You know, Satana know everybody. So what are the topics today? I'm going to start off with this topic right here. Here we go. How many political debates do we need? There's a debate coming up on Thursday. Everybody figured out who they're going to vote for. All we're doing is waiting for a train wreck. That's it. We're looking for yet another train wreck. Donald Trump knows he's not going to win. Outside of cheating, outside of anarchy, outside of total overthrow of the American democracy system, he has nowhere near the votes or really the privilege. He hasn't earned the privilege to be president, but yet we still have to watch him. Okay, so think about debate. Oh, this is a good topic right here. Let's talk about Ice Cube and why he's getting shredded on his actions. I'm going to say something about Ice Cube, Brother Sean. Ice Cube is getting shredded because he didn't ask a black community that's not necessarily up on political game. He didn't hesitate, or he didn't waste time asking us what we thought. You see, people were concerned that he went to Biden and the Trump people called on him, but nobody gives a guy for coming up with a plan called Contract with Black America. So people are upset with him because he was, for lack of a better word, decisive. For lack of a better word, focused. For lack of a better word, he was action-oriented. And I think a lot of our political leaders who are still around, claim to be leaders, particularly Black Lives Matter, were upset because he did not, brothers and sisters, he did not ask their permission. He didn't say this was a Black Lives Matter thing. He said, I have a contract. Okay, let me give a shout out to Sister Sakina Mujahid. All right. You're going to disagree on Trump's chances. Like I said, he can't win in a fair fight. I think that through cheating and manipulation and trying to correlate laws to his benefit, this election will be closer than it should be. Were he to lose, he's already put in place Supreme Court justices who will support anything he puts out. An attorney general who put out, and I said this before, scared white people in America when they can't compete, the thing they give black folks and Latinos and Native Americans, they give you laws. They give you authorship of laws which to me says that you're not a part of it. The Electoral College, Sean, brothers and sisters, it's an archaic institution. It shouldn't be around. It was designed to preserve the vote for elite white men back in the day. Elite white men. Do you know that we had a black president? That should tell you that it's outdated. However, the Electoral College is interesting because it tells you, for lack of a better word, let me nuance this a little bit. The Electoral College is something that we've never seen. We just accept it. It's like a mystery college. Like, we've never been to the Electoral College. Anybody got a degree from the Electoral College? A PhD? Do they have a basketball team, football team? Are they in the NCAA? Or do they have a mascot? Of course they don't. The Electoral College is a rationing of votes according to each state. And as you accumulate states, you get points, you get votes. And it's so far away from the American system. It's not part of the democratic system of awarding points according to states. Now, a lot of people got upset with the Electoral College in the last election. Well, we had a very unpopular Democratic candidate, and I'm going to say this: Sean, Sakina, all y'all, she was half-stepping. She thought she was going to cruise to the end. She didn't go to places like Minnesota, didn't go to places like Michigan, didn't go back to places like Pennsylvania, and she thought that I have it. Well, you never have it. I will give this to Trump. He's going to fight tooth and nail to the end. He's going to fight tooth and nail to the end, even though we all know all the numbers, all the statistics say he's going to lose. There's some other things you have to think about. What about interference? There's a book called The Best Democracy That Money Could Buy. And they broke down how George W. Bush beat Al Gore. Now, many of you remember that Al Gore was the projected winner, but then there was a problem in Florida. And the problem in Florida also boiled down to his brother, George Bush's brother, was Jeb, was what? He was the governor of Florida and had a problem with the ballot count. Words like dimple Chad and things like that. And the rush, if you will, to recount votes and then not recount votes. That's how we got George Bush. I'm with you a little bit, Sean, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm with you. I'm not gonna argue with you on that. There's a lot to it. Oh, I'm sorry, I froze. Well, let me get off this camera then. Inshallah, I haven't frozen. Hopefully, I'm unfrozen. People, sorry about that. I got to pay for. I'm using my neighbor's internet, using the neighbor's Wi-Fi. But my point is, Sean brought up a point that the Electoral College was meant to, how do you say it? Wouldn't take to say a smaller populous states. Well, it does. How I did delegates, who gets how many delegates, who gets how many senators, it tells you a little bit about the political system. And the political system is set to preserve a political system, meaning that there's nothing that's come through in terms of executive branch, legislative branch, and definitely, the executive branch. Nothing's come through in terms of new legislation for quite a long time. That said, like I said a couple episodes back, let's change the damn Constitution. We are not in a place or in a situation or a position to change the Constitution. So, okay, there you go. Sister Rabina is talking about, hey, Sean, Sister Rabina is talking about Ice Cube. I'm going to tell you something else about Ice Cube. Ice Cube, for a very long time, has been an outlier in a lot of things: rap music, film production, the 3-on-3 league, things like that. He's made connections that a lot of folks in the particular Black community, in the Black business community, we just haven't thought of. We tend to lean on, if you will, what used to work. Like in protest, we lean on what used to work. If you want to have an effective protest, don't show up. Let it be that your actions show up. So if you want to have an effective protest, don't take off from work. Let yourself understand that you are an asset to that company. And that if you don't come into work because of how you feel about society and justice, or justice in society, your absence creates a value that they can't replace. Sister Nine, let me see. I'm not so upset with Ice Cube. I'm more annoyed that the fact that Trump feels like he can talk to athletes, but never anyone with real political backing. Okay, all right. Well, it's true. Let me ask you this question. Do you think, brothers and sisters, that the whole thing of Ice Cube in this controversy takes away from the fact that you still have Kanye West on the ballots? Kanye West is not a threat. I know people who are, quote unquote, possibly working with Kanye West on his campaign. He has millions of dollars. Some say he is close to a billionaire in terms of the money he's earned from shoes and fashion, as well as the records. But here's the thing, I have to say, Kanye to me is not an independent thinker. Ice Cube has been an independent thinker for a long time. If you listen to some of his albums, brothers and sisters, if you listen to some of his albums, like Lethal Injection is a open book. It's literally a dissertation, if you will, not a thesis, a dissertation on Black struggle in America. Listen to it. I'm not mad at him. Sean said, agreed the Constitution need to be written. He talks about democracy. He talks about democracy in this way. And let me say this. He talks about democracy in an old way, in an angry way, in an intelligent way. Did anybody see the interview that Puff Daddy did with Charlemagne the God, talking about a Black People Party? That's the interview you should be worried about. Let me give a shout out to Sister Rabina. Keep a very close eye on Trump, especially if there will be influence. I said, yeah, I think, Sister Rabina, that we're definitely prepared for this time. But I also feel that, did anyone see the movie War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise? If you didn't, it's okay. The War of the Worlds is aliens coming to attack us. What I really remember about that movie is the aliens didn't come to attack us. This is the deal. The aliens were already here. And a sound or a signal woke the aliens up, and then they attacked us. Let me get Sister, let me see. Yeah. And I'm going to say something about Kanye West in a minute. Let me give Sister Naima. So many people say they won't be voting for anyone, but not realizing the vote. Yeah, you have that. See, Kanye may have money, but he doesn't have gravitas influence regards to real Black struggles. Here's the thing I'm going to say about Kanye West. Kanye West's mother was a professor. So he does have a little bit of a connection to an academic way of thinking. When I listen to his albums, I haven't listened to all of them. I think I listened to 2. I bought one, I bootlegged the second one. But there is a certain academic, I want to say framework to how he does music. And it works for the music. It doesn't work for politics. Let's just say that. Because the world is not going to think exactly like you think. I'm not going to crown you a genius because you keep saying I'm a genius. But that's what people do. I'm an expert. Finally, and another time it's like, yo, you're an expert. And it's like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. you have to understand that. Plus, I think the fact, and correct me if I'm wrong, brothers and sisters, Ice Cube has been a political linchpin for quite a long time. His songs, F the Police, okay, he's always been in this protest mode. He's always been in this protest mode. And I like it. Because whatever it is, he's not comfortable. And when Ice Cube is not comfortable, it makes me comfortable at that, because I'm not comfortable. Like many of you here are not comfortable. And when I say that, I mean it in a way that you frame for other people that whatever it is you're trying to do, I'm thinking that you're going to do it. Whatever it is you're trying to achieve, I'm looking for the hustle. I'm looking for the okie doke. And in my skills, I sharpen my intuition, because even if you don't bring it, I've now established a level of detection. One of the things that I do appreciate with the Ice Cube, much the same as Chuck D. And get this straight too, brothers and sisters. Ice Cube is a huge Chuck D fan. Huge Chuck D fan. This is not coming out of nowhere. Ice Cube loves Chuck D from Public Enemy. So in rap, if you will, he has a blueprint. I mean, he may have done gangster rap, but he has a blueprint, brothers and sisters, and that's Chuck D. And maybe America may accept being mad at Ice Cube so they don't have to be accountable, if you will, to Chuck D. Let me give a shout out. Yeah, higher learning is a great role. It's a great role. But the lesson early on with Ice Cube was how he handled the NWA situation. Let me say this again. How he handled the NWA situation. And the fact that he said, listen, literally saying, listen, we're on a plantation. We need to escape. And in escaping, it was almost like a cameo. He was doing a cameo in Django. We got to get out of here. And then the rest of the crew was like, no. Jerry's good for us. Jerry Heller's good for us. And Ice Cube said, no. And even then, to your point, Sean, even then, Ice Cube was ridiculed. Ice Cube was he was disrespected. I remember I know the security guard had to break up above the law because they jumped on Ice Cube back in the day. And people tried to persecute Ice Cube. Why? Because he was thinking out of the box. Business-wise, he was thinking out of the box. And his cohorts, the brothers that he came into the business with, they weren't thinking at all. So that's a good point. I like myself, like many of you, I'm not mad at Ice Cube. I don't even know why people would be mad at Ice Cube. I thought it was a pretty engaging conversation. I don't know if anybody saw the interview that he did with Chris Cuomo on CNN. Very intelligent a very intelligent interview. A very strategic interview. I mean, it was what I hope Sean Combs would do, but I don't know Sean Combs, and I'm not going to, I don't know him, thus I'm not going to talk about his level of sincerity. I feel like he had good intentions, but the execution was bad. Ice Cube's execution was strategic. He spoke to the problems. He spoke to the solutions. He spoke to, this is a group, and here's what people should remind themselves of. How often are you willing to sit down, or really, how often will you have political parties come and sit down with you? The Democratic Party said, we like what we're doing, we're going to wait till after the election. Trump, now I don't know what Trump's going to do, because everybody knows he promised, like the devil. He's like Satan, he's like Shaitan, promises you everything, gives you nothing. But my point being, just having a platform where somebody wants to sit down and talk to you is major. No one else has done it. No one else thought about it. Where's the other, contract with Black America? Where is that? And I'm going to say this. You got to look at some of the other videos that he did, some of his stuff on IG, and get a better understanding. You got to do your homework. You had to do some forensic investigation, if you will. He said things on IG. All he did was act on those things. And it's very rare that you're going to get people to come to the table. Give the guy credit. So look, brothers and sisters, I'm not going to hold you this Sunday. What I'm hoping is that with all this conversation we had, I pray, inshallah, that you got something to eat. That you got some greens cooking, with some beans cooking, with some butter on them, mixed vegetables, chicken breast. I'm saying all this stuff for real in case I'm giving you the menu for next week. Fish, whatever it is. Even if it's a bucket of chicken and some fries, sit it down in the middle of that dinner table and have a conversation with your family. All right, everybody, we got one more. I'm gonna give my sister the last one. Brother Ice Cube was not thinking out of the box. He was thinking like a real businessman in regards to NWA, and just like a businessman should do, he was thought very highly of in the UK when he split from NWA. That's real. I've done it before. There's a reason why you don't see Preacher Mars working in the comedy clubs, the improvs and the funny bones. Because I said, if I can sit here and make these people laugh and you pay them and you get beer and concessions, I was like, I got people, ain't nobody making them laugh. Let me do all that make me funny, and that's exactly what we did. I'm not Ice Cube, I'm Preacher Mars. Just like you guys on Ice Cube, you guys are Brother Sean and Brother Naima and Brother Sultana. We all have to engage exactly what this brother did. Sister Rabina, you have to engage exactly what this brother did. Because if we don't, we're going to be perceived just as we are now. Soft, not engaged, and not willing to put up a doggone fight. When it's clear, the options are do or die. So I'm going to get out of here. You guys have an amazing day, the rest of the day. And I will see you on Monday. Just a note, as I told many of you last week, we're not going to have a Saturday spotlight, but we will have a spotlight on Tuesday with a very special guest from CARE LA. He's an educator. He's an activist. He's the executive director of CARE LA, Council on American Islamic Relations, doing great work, fighting for justice, fighting against Islamophobia. Brother Hussein Ayush, my brother, make sure you check it out. More information on Instagram. And I'm going to encourage everybody. I'm going to put, if you saw down ballot voting, share that out on your Instagram, share that out on your Twitter, all those things, because I'm very serious about this election. Nobody's ever seen me put out an ad before, and I'm going to talk about it because we're not talking about it enough. All right, everyone, have an amazing day. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Hey everybody, this is your brother Preacher Moss. Listen, I hope that you enjoyed your shout out show experience. We'll be back with the next show, the next shout out show. A simple ask before you go, please help your brother out. Click that subscribe button, click that notify button, and I'll see you again on this side of the microphone. You probably wonder what that smell is. That's me. I smell good. And the reason I smell good is because I use oils from Tarifa Tar. So I'm not saying you can't smell good. I'm not even saying you stink. I'm saying you have the opportunity to smell exquisite. Check out tarifatar.com for some of the best oils and scents in town.